Hey, this is Zacklog the Great. The Koreans hate the Japanese. There are historical reasons for this I won't go into right now, but for my current point, what matters is that the Koreans have a deep-seated hatred of the Japanese. Now, I want you to imagine something with me. Imagine that a group of Koreans immigrated to Japan and became citizens. Over time, they and their children mostly integrated into Japanese society. While I suspect they could tell each other apart if they were paying attention, they mostly look alike. A Korean in Japan would not be as obvious as a European or an African. Now, while to outward society they mostly seemed like just another Japanese citizen, among themselves they cultivated and maintained a clear Korean identity. They made sure that their children and other Koreans understood that they were not Japanese and not like them. Now, let's say that these Koreans in Japan managed to become a part of influential institutions, schools, entertainment, news media. And from these positions, they steadily preached a message that we Japanese have done terrible things. Our history is one of shame, and we have a lot to make up for. And they were very consistent with that language. The problem is always with us Japanese. We need to fix our behavior. We need to make up for past wrongs. Once in a while, you could imagine, someone might point out to one of these Koreans, "Hey, you're not Japanese, you're Korean." Of course, they would have to deflect this obvious problem by making it rude, borderline criminal, to point out that someone is Korean and not Japanese. And then further, once this messaging has been effective, once Japanese who were raised on a steady diet of this poison started to self-attack, and once Chinese and Indians joined in the chorus and condemned the terrible behavior of the Japanese, these Koreans would say, "Oh, I'm not Japanese. I'm not one of the people with this terrible history. That's them over there. I'm Korean. None of this applies to us." That would be a horribly dishonest and nasty way to behave. Huh? Pretending you're engaging in introspective self-criticism when you're actually attacking a hated enemy? I placed this story in Japan, halfway around the world, to help you get some distance. See things from another perspective, free from emotional associations. But something very much like this is going on in America and Europe. There is a group that, for decades, has done exactly this to these countries. And if you doubt me, just pick a search engine and enter the phrase, in quotes, "I'm not white, I'm..." You'll see who does this. This is cruel, slimy, dishonest behavior. And we must not make excuses for the people who act this way. God be with you.